Alrighty. Today, we're going to set some goals for our season. We're going to set some goals daily, and then we're also going to set some goals for what performance we're looking for. So first off, we got to talk about the culture of our group, the culture of our team, and how we want to interact with each other. I read a quote today, a really cool one, and that quote said, what did it say? That quote said, if you look for problems, you will find problems. If you look for opportunities, you will find opportunities. And yet, the two are one and the same. So make sure when we talk to each other, when we talk as a group, when you talk to your friends, when you're on the bench, we're looking for opportunities, because that's what we'll find. All right? Challenges, things that we need to work on, barriers to success will always be there, but we need to see the opportunity of how to overcome that. We need to see the way around that. And so that's what we're going to do today, just a little bit. The first type of goal that we're going to set, and our friend here is going to write them down. Okay, the first type, we're going to go all the way to the outcome. All right? We're going to write an outcome goal for what we want as a team for this season. What do we want as a team for the season?
Do you mean like this fall or this year, or?
Yeah, I'll ask you guys. What's the most important part for you all as a team while we're together? So it could be this full year. Maybe there's state cup or something like that we want to look at. Is that something that, have we done anything like that in the past? Okay. Maybe there's a big tournament. Did we play in any big tournaments last year?
Played in some tournaments.
Played in some tournaments. Did we win any of those tournaments? No. So, a potential outcome goal. Yeah? Potential outcome goal would be them what?
Win a tournament.
Win a tournament. Okay? It's specific. It's measurable. We can say yes or no that we did it. We either won or we did not. There's only two answers.
If you were a little heavier, you would flop someone.
That's okay. It's action-oriented because the verb win. Okay, so we're doing something. It's realistic, right? Is it realistic?
Yes.
For us to win a tournament? I think so. But what's the time component? We will win a tournament this year, or this? What do you think? What's the realistic time frame? This season? Okay, how many tournaments do we have left, Coach? This season?
One in the fall.
One in the fall?
Well, Norway has 2, Belgium has 1, and in the spring we'll have 2 more for each.
2 more for each group. So maybe this year is more realistic. It gives us more opportunities, right? Good. All right. Is everybody bought into that goal, though? Is it a goal that everybody shares? You want that to happen? Everybody? Okay. Then that's a good team outcome goal. Now, let's look at a performance goal. Performance goal will be something that relates to how well we do against other teams. For instance, a common goal is that we want to have more goals for us this season than against us. Would you all want a goal like that? Okay. If you do want a goal like that, maybe, yeah, how do we define that? What? Somebody raise their hand and tell me what they would want as a performance goal. Do you want to score 10 goals this season? Do you want to score more goals than the other team? What? Yeah.
Score more goals than the other team.
Okay, score more goals than the other team. So more goals for than goals against. All right? It's specific. Because we're measuring goals. Measurable, okay? Is it action-oriented? Is score a verb? Okay. Is it realistic? Okay. And is there a time frame on it? This season? All right. And then defensively, what's a target for us? What's a goal for us?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, write that down. I mean, that's also a defensive goal, right? Why is everybody so quiet? What's that? Because these are your goals, right? Coach and I are going to help facilitate your goals. So we need to hear your voice in order to do that successfully. Now we need a defensive performance goal. Yes. Okay. How will we measure that? Angles? Okay. How about goals against? How many goals against per game? Like an average of goals against per game. How many should we allow? 0? How about less than 1? Less than 1 a game? Because if you go 2 games and the other team scored 1 goal, then they've scored a half goal per game, and that's less than 1. Is that reasonable, or do you want less than 2? Or less than 3? Or less than 4?
Less than 10. Less than 10.
Do you know the less than, like the Pac-Man thing? So then less than, and then whatever number we choose. What number?
5.
What's realistic?
5. 3.
5 is definitely realistic. Can we? 3?
3 and
2?
a half. 3 and a half.
I'm hearing 3 and 2.
3 and a half.
Okay, raise your hand for 2. Okay.
3 and a half.
All right, let's write 2. The majority says 2. We'll write 2. That is more than 2. Less than, you make the other one bigger. All right,
It's like
and
an
last.
alligator's mouth that wants to eat the bigger number.
Yeah, once you use a bigger number.
It's a bigger meal, and we have to draw the alligators.
Yeah. And last, we need to do some process goals. These are things that we're going to commit to every day as individuals. Or maybe even as teams. Maybe one of our process goals is to have everybody to practice on time. That's one that we've already set, correct? We are good on that. So that's an example that you guys are doing very well. Now, what about, yeah.
To try your best at that.
Okay, how do you measure that? How do I know that you tried your best today?
Participation.
The amount of sweat? We run around with cups and collect your sweat?
No, I meant like the amount of sweat like on your face. But like you didn't try, you would have.
Hypothetically measurable.
What if this guy has hyperhidrosis? Then he just sweats more. Is he all of a sudden now
He's a
working
trickster.
harder? He's a trickster?
I'm the sweatiest so far.
Yeah, what if between breaks he's putting water in his hair so that he glistens? Right? All right. So, something to do with effort, though. But how can we measure effort? How can we measure commitment? How can we measure any of these things? Yeah.
The coaching with like how much we like helped clean up and like participating.
Okay. So maybe we could say 100% participation in cleaning up and setting up. How do we measure that? So if we ask a question, how many are correct? How many correct responses we get? Those are all good things to think about, yeah?
Progress during the practice, like getting better.
Okay, how would we measure that? Yeah, how do we know that you got better?
By doing better in the game. Looking at our past.
By doing better? Okay, I like where all of you are going. In terms of being able to measure those things, one that was said that we can measure is participation in setup and cleanup. Okay, that would mean that everybody picks up something, everybody cleans up something. So we can write that down. And if there's not a cone to pick up or a bib to pick up, then Yeah, you could grab a ball, or you could grab like some water bottle that somebody left, like one of the plastic ones. Just make the world a better place. Yeah. Okay. How do you measure that? Do Sam and I have a clipboard? We put a smiley or a frowny face according to your attitude.
Yeah. You should be if we're having a bad day.
Okay.
Put our cards in the right box.
So I like where Zoe's going on this. It would be hard for us to measure, but how often do you say something negative? How often do you have negative self-talk? How often have you gone, oh, I can't even make a pass today in your own head? Or, oh man, every time I get it, I lose the ball.
I can't even hit the ball in puzzle.
Right. So we can measure that. We can be conscious of it in our own minds. So this is something for us as individuals, a process goal. If you have a negative thought and you recognize it, give yourself immediately one compliment. Okay? Negate that. For instance, I might go to pass to Coach Sammy here. May I see the ball? I go to pass it, and I miss him. I'll get that ball later for you. I might miss him. When I miss him, I might think in my head, I'm a terrible soccer player. He was right there. I should have been able to pass it to him. As soon as that thought hits your head, you have to go, all right, next one. And then the ball comes in, and you make a definitive effort to play a great ball in the next one. You don't focus on things that already happened, because they're already done. You can't affect those. And so it's all about what things can you control, what things can you affect, and what things can you not affect. Sound good? So that's one thing for our process goals. So if you have a negative thought, replace it with a positive thought. Okay? If you consciously have a negative thought in your own mind, give yourself a positive thought. Yep. All right, and then the last piece here. This will be as an individual. I just want you to close your eyes quickly. And I want you to think about yourself. You obviously have a reason that you're here. And I want you to set a goal for yourself. Okay, I want you to set an outcome goal. What do you want from the season? I want you to set a performance goal. What statistically do you want to do in this season? And I want you to set a goal for your daily work. What are you going to do daily that's going to make you the player that you want to become by the end of the season? That could be spend 10 minutes with the ball on my feet on non-practice days. That could be get 10 hours elite athletes get 10 hours of sleep a night. It could be get 8 hours of sleep a night, taking care of your body. It could be drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Stay hydrated. Is it? Your body is 68% water. So
I knew that.
I probably said this at the beginning of the season, but hurt people, right? So if you have a negative attitude because something happened to you, don't bring that to other people, because you're gonna hurt them too, and then they're gonna hurt you. So make sure that you support each other, because that's why we're all together. We all have the same goals. We wrote them all down in our handwriting. Okay? They're right there. I'm going to take pictures of these and share them with you. But do this for yourself too. Take a note card when you get home and put your individual goals on a mirror that you look into every single morning. Okay, for instance, I have a mirror at my parents' house. It says, if today were to be the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And if the answer is no, too many days in a row, then I stop doing what I was doing and I do something else. All right? So make sure you put your goals in a mirror somewhere that you see them every day. Everybody ready to play?
Yes.
All right.